So the next topic is SA 570 going concern consideration. Like we are discussing the audit report contents. In that what we covered is almost that paras, that sections which will come as per requirement of other standards. Emphasis other matter we covered. Still we need to discuss material uncertainty related to going concern and key audit matter. Getting it? Now, so what that auditor has to cover in going concern assumption? What auditor has to check? Just a minute. So what auditor has to check in this going concern assumption? See, going concern, like until today, until you heard of it in the context of accounting, you might be thinking that financial statements are prepared using going concern assumption. And of course, we have to prepare financial statements using going concern assumption. When we will prepare financial statements using going concern assumption? When going concern assumption is suitable. When do we should prepare financial statements using going concern? When the financial statements, when going concern assumption is suitable only we have to. Suppose if going concern assumption is not suitable for us. Sir, what do you mean by not suitable? Going concern assumption not suitable, what does it mean? See, what is our objective of audit? Our objective of audit is whether the financial statements are free from material misstatements and are they prepared in accordance with applicable framework. Whatever points, amounts, disclosures, presentations, classifications, whatever they showed in the balance sheet, P&L and notes, are they right or wrong? We need to check right. Are they true and fair or not? We need to check right. Correct? So auditor has to check whether they are true and fair or not. Now management used in the notes to accounts, management said clearly, the financial statements are prepared using accrual basis and using going concern basis of accounting. Going concern assumption has been followed. What you might have learned, management will use going concern assumption and that's how it will continue. What is my question here is, auditor has to check whether management can use going concern assumption or not. What is the standard says indirectly? Auditor has to check whether management can use going concern assumption or not. Management can use it or not. See, because it is going concern assumption, financial statements are prepared on historical cost basis. Okay, you take a Ford, approximately they invested more than 10,000 crore in the factory. More than that, just giving a rough figure. More than 10,000 crore would have been invested in constructing the Ford factory in Chennai. Getting it? Now very recently they sold it for how much? 700 crore. At what price it is sold for? 700 crore. They invested 10,000 crore and sold it for 700 rupees. Like it is as simple as 10,000 article is sold for 700. You see any company, plant and machinery, suppose you take Reliance Industries, what is the plant and machinery of Reliance Industries value? 4 lakh crore. The Reliance Industries Limited plant and machinery value is approximately 4 lakh crore. Only plant and machinery I am talking. So where this plant and machinery will be find, you'll find it in the construction factory. Yes or no? The oil refinery, the structures, whatever it is nothing but 4 lakh crore. Now, if at all this plant and machinery is sold today, as per book value it is 4 lakh crore. Now if at all we sell this, do we get 4 lakh crore? Outsiders will buy this plant and machinery in scrap. For the company it is plant and machinery. For you and me, correct? No, it is not useful at all. Can you bring that machinery and keep in your home? Oil refinery? Will you use it for any other purpose? Obviously, the factories that are constructed, the machinery which are used by these factories, these businesses, they are mainly customized. Customized items will not have resale value in the market. There will not be a buyer. Obviously, at what price we will have to be selling it at? At scrap value. Whatever iron and steel, you have to dismantle it completely and sell it at iron and steel cost. Able to understand? But the balance sheet we are showing 4 lakh crore. No. If you sell it immediately, it will hardly give 4 lakh, this 4 lakh crore worth of machinery will hardly give some 1500 crore in reality. If you sell it 1500 crore only, you will get. But then why are we, then if that is the realizable value, then why are we showing in the balance sheet at 4 lakh crore? I don't have intention to sell. First of all, I don't have intention to sell. See, I know if I sell the machinery right now, it hardly fetches me 1500 crore. 40,000 rupees worth of machine will hardly fetch me 1500 rupees. Are you getting it? But who the hell told you that I want to sell? I don't want to sell. I will use this machine. I will use this for next 50 years. I will use this machine for next 50 years and I will generate lakhs and lakhs of cash flows. Lakhs and lakhs crores of cash flows. More than this value of the machine, I can generate money. I can use it for my business. I can generate money. That's why I'm showing on historical cost basis. Why I am not considering NRV? Because I don't have intention to sell. I will use it in future. Okay, that is the reason you are showing. Now, can you use in future? That is a question. Can you use in the future? Yes, of course, I will use in the future. First of all, do you have future? This is a question. Do the company has future? That is the main question. Are you getting it? Now here future means how many months? Minimum 12 months. From balance sheet date, whatever the balance sheet that we are signing, from that balance sheet date, we need to apply 12 months logic. Getting it? So from balance sheet date, see whether 12 months is there or not, tenure. Next 12 months, can the company successfully continue or not? This is a position that you need to check. Are you getting the point? Now, only if you feel, only if auditor conclude, yes, the next 12 months, company can successfully run, no doubt. We cannot have a long-term gestation. We can't estimate long-term how things gonna change. Yes or no? In 2015, BSNL is a very growing company. In 2017, it died. Are you getting the point? Who knows? 2018-19, Jet Airways is one of the leading air carrier. Indigo Airlines and Jet Airways, these are the two companies which are, neck-to-neck competition. Within 6 months in 2019 beginning, I think, or 2018 beginning, within 6 months collapsed. Entire Jet Airways. Are you getting the point? So, people, shareholders, they should get an idea. Before the company become, insolvent, we must give them the idea clue, right? So, can the company use going concern assumption? Will the company definitely continue in the next 12 months? I need to check it. Because financial statements are prepared using going concern assumption. Because fixed assets, everything is shown at historical cost. And because going concern assumption is used, historical cost method is used, balance sheet is tallying. People are thinking company will exist for another few more years. Getting it? So I need to check this assumption. So management will use always, but you need to check, is it appropriate or not? Suppose you saw the company status. Right now, Reliance Jio Communications, you see, excellent number of subscribers, yes or no? Everyone is almost using it. They are getting so much of revenue. Almost everyone is, broadband also, Jio fiber only many are taking. When I say this company as on 31st March, will I get any doubt on the going concern ability of the Reliance Industries? Definitely the company will be there for another 2 decades. That is the kind of confidence that we get. So how do you say that? You can't just like that say that. You need to check at the cash flows. You need to look at the nature and condition of the business. You need to look at the external events and conditions, external economic factors, law and regulations. Everything is favorable. So Reliance company can happily use going concern assumption. As an auditor of Reliance company, on going concern assumption which they used, will I qualify? Do I need to object it? No need. Suppose. So that is about Reliance Industries Limited. Getting it? Suppose you take another company, where it is like Jet Airways. Jet Airways. 1 minute, okay. Yeah, suppose you look at Jet Airways. The company already defaulted payment of salaries. Already defaulted payment of creditors. A single flight is also not operating. Now this company, let us assume, appointed me as an auditor now. And this company prepared balance sheet P&L. And they used going concern basis. They used going concern basis. But company is not at all running. Most of the operations were halted. Labor strikes are going on. And company defaulted tax authorities. Defaulted creditors. Now tell me, when all these kinds of defaults present, and the company is still using going concern basis in financial statements, will you agree for it? Now for this company, is going concern, use of going concern basis of accounting, is it appropriate or inappropriate? Inappropriate, correct? Huh? So now tell me, for Jet Airways, use of going concern basis is inappropriate, correct? Huh? But they used going concern assumption. Now financial statements misleading or not? When the going concern basis of assumption is inappropriate, they cannot use, the company is not at all running, the company is already failed, and still management is claiming that they are continuing the business. In the near future also company will prosper. That's how management is showing, which is not correct in reality. So what opinion will give you? More clearly, adverse opinion. If the financial statements are prepared using going concern basis and in auditor's point of view, and auditor concluded based on sufficient appropriate evidence that use of going concern basis of accounting is inappropriate, then auditor shall give adverse opinion. Whereas for Reliance, how do you feel? Going concern basis of accounting, the way they are using is appropriate. And even they used going concern basis. Both are matching. So obviously I'll give its opinion. Unqualified opinion in the context of going concern. See, maybe from going concern point of view, unqualified I gave. But in the Reliance, I discovered material mistake in inventory. I will give qualified opinion on inventory. Understood or not? I will give qualified opinion on what? Inventory. On going concern, I will give its opinion as a whole. Unqualified. With respect to going concern, I don't have objection. But on inventory, I may have objection. That is again a different thing. Able to understand. Now look at the situation of Air India. Look at the situation of Air India. Here you can take Ford Motors also example. Ford Motors, which is recently closed. Okay. Air India you take. You know Air India position. Air India is having approximately 7 lakh crore accumulated losses. 7 lakh crore. No, sorry, 7 lakh crore worth of deficit, I think. I'm not sure exactly. Let me open that. You see here, Air India is having they have given this material uncertainty para, they used it. They are having net loss of, accumulated losses of 70,000 crore, 7 lakh millions. I mean nothing but 70,000 crore. 1,000 millions is equal to 1 billion. Getting it? 1,000 millions is equal to 1 billion. Getting it? Fine. So they are having how many? 70,000 crore. 70,000 crore. They are having accumulated losses. And how much? Current liabilities exceeding its current assets, nothing but, generally which one should be higher? Assets should be higher than liability. But here liabilities are higher than assets by 54,000 crore. And they have incurred during the current year 7,760 crore loss. Accumulated losses 70,000 crore. First, forget about all that. How many assets they have? They have lesser than liability. What does it mean? Pocket cash ille. In fact, I need to pay people. But still, Air India used going concern assumption. Still what happened? Air India used going concern assumption. But you see, did we qualify on the going concern assumption anywhere here? No. Actually, when you look at this situation, is the company going concern proper? Already defaulted. Company don't have cash. Single rupee also not there. How come single rupee is also not there? Assets are more than, liabilities are more than assets. So already defaulted. Going concern is missing. Company cannot operate. But still, Air India used going concern basis of accounting. And even Auditors have not given any objection on that. You see, qualified opinion, it is talking about something else, not about going concern. Why? Because the management is of the opinion that going concern basis of accounting is appropriate in view of continued support of government of India. Because government of India is supporting, already I don't have cash. Government is giving me loans. Government is giving me incentives. By taking that, I am surviving. Air India is surviving because government is giving loans and all. That's why, as long as government is supporting, will the company shut down? Now tell me, here what should I tell? What should I treat this as? Should I treat this as going concern appropriate or inappropriate? Appropriate. But I have a query. Until when government will support? Whenever they want, they can withdraw. Yes or no? If government decided, okay, let's not go with this, we are unable to revive the company, we are unable to implement turnaround strategy, we can't revive, so let's close the company. If the government came up with this decision, what will happen? Going concern will be completely, it will be not inappropriate, correct? Now, as on 31st March, Air India position is that, and when I am speaking to the directors of the company, they are saying, we prepared using going concern basis because government is supporting. My question is, next 12 months government will support? No sir, not sure. We are not sure. Now tell me, right now as on balance sheet date, government support is there. So that's why company is able to pay salaries, able to pay creditors, able to pay everything else, taxes and all. But within next 12 months, what if government withdraw the support? Who knows? Now tell me, can I say concretely government will withdraw the support? No. Or can I say government support will be there for the next 12 months? No. Is there an uncertainty or not? Is this uncertainty material or not? So, going concern is appropriate, but material uncertainty exists. The problem is, going concern is fine, but material uncertainty exists. Now, what auditors shall do in this kind of situation like Air India? I will ask Air India management. Dear management, you prepared financial statements using going concern assumption on the logic that government is supporting. Okay, I agree. And you are only saying until when government will support, you only don't have clarity. Maybe government might promise earlier that next 2 years I will support, but any time later they can come back and withdraw. So there is a material uncertainty. Kindly disclose this material uncertainty in the financial statements. I am asking the management of Air India, please disclose this uncertainty. Every shareholder should know that company is having this kind of uncertainty. Just because company is continuing, don't think that company will continue like this next 12 months, next 24 months. Anytime government stops withdrawing the support, that's it. The next day we have to stop the business. Please inform this uncertainty in the financial statements. Management is also very honest. Sir, we already did, sir. You can see financial statements, notes to accounts, crystal clearly we explained in one note point where government, like we clearly mentioned in the note point, that in the note number 52, the company is surviving only because of the government support. If government withdraws the support, we will shut down. Because government is supporting, we have not shut down. Because government is supporting, we have prepared the financials on a going concern basis. We clearly mentioned, honestly disclosed. Now tell me, going concern right now it is fine, but material uncertainty exists, and that material uncertainty honestly disclosed by management in the notes to accounts or not? Yes or no? Now, are they misleading anything? Are they misstating anything? Now, in that context, which opinion you will give? Unqualified opinion. That's why you see here, auditor has not qualified anything related to going concern. Which means on going concern point, what opinion he gave? Unqualified opinion. Because the qualified opinion of Air India audit report contains qualification on not going concern matter, but on some other stuff. Which means on going concern matter, what opinion auditor gave? Unqualified. Suppose this material uncertainty is there, right? Air India management told me, sir, Let's not disclose, sir. Let's not disclose this uncertainty to people. People will panic. Shareholders will panic. Let's not discuss that in the notes to accounts. And Air India management, even though material uncertainty exists, they are not disclosing fully or partly. They are not disclosing. Now, financial statements are misleading. Are they misstated by non-disclosure or partial disclosure of the uncertainty? Now, which opinion you will give? Adverse or qualified, depending upon the severity. But generally, since it is going concern, straight away adverse, and in basis for adverse opinion section, I will give reason for that. Yes or no? In basis for adverse opinion section, I will talk about the reason for that. Now, if financial statements are disclosing everything honestly, we will give which opinion? Unqualified opinion. Material uncertainty is being disclosed in financials honestly, unqualified opinion we will give. But tell me, when I give unqualified opinion on the financials, where there is a material uncertainty? Yes or no? Why am I giving unqualified opinion? Because management is honestly disclosing. Tell me, the point which Air India disclosed in note number 53 regarding material uncertainty about the company future. Because the uncertainty about the future of the company they disclosed in note number 53. Is it important point? Very important. This is about company future, company existence. Yes or no? Should we highlight it? Yes or no? By the way, do we have any objection on that? We want to highlight. Where we will highlight? No. Since it is going concern issue, did auditor highlighted here in emphasis of matter para? No, he highlighted under material uncertainty related to going concern. So he highlighted here, the company has incurred. We draw your attention to note number 53. Our opinion is not modified. This is exactly like emphasis, no? Same presentation. What's the difference between emphasis of matter and this one? Here, in this side heading, we can only highlight about going concern issue. We cannot highlight any other issue. This is not a routine matter to highlight under emphasis. This is very important matter. So, for highlighting going concern material uncertainty in audit report, a dedicated paragraph is given. Immediately after opinion, you see, it is not given at last also because it is most important. So, they gave at the first itself opinion, basis for opinion, material uncertainty related to going concern. Now, the question, please think and answer. Suppose Air India management is facing material uncertainty. They did not disclose that uncertainty in the financial statements. That non-disclosure is material and pervasive. Which opinion we will give? And will you use material uncertainty related to going concern para to highlight that? Obviously no. See, if I have to highlight, it should be there in the note point, no? Correct, huh? This, when can I highlight here? If it is there in the note point, company did not disclose, man. How can I highlight? I'll give adverse opinion. I will talk about this under basis for adverse opinion section. When company did not disclose, I will directly discuss that under basis for adverse opinion. But if company disclosed it honestly, I don't have any objection. I will put it under material uncertainty related to going concern. Understood when this will come? So material uncertainty related to going concern paragraph section in the audit report will come into picture only when auditor gives unqualified opinion on which matter? Clear? Everyone. That's it, the standard. That's it. The standard is over. Now, so what is the objective of the auditor here? Auditor has to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence regarding appropriateness of management's use of going concern basis. Now you got the evidence. Try to identify whether a material uncertainty exists. Then report as per this standard. Now, for every company, whenever we are doing audit, we have to do a preliminary assessment. But we don't do. Management has to do preliminary assessment. Every company, every organization has to do a preliminary assessment. See, this is not something there only in companies. In our home also it will happen every day to day. Getting the point? Do our parents check or not at the end of the month? What are the expenses for the next month? So how much we are having inflow and what is the expected outflow? Yes or no? And if there is any shortage, how to finance that shortage? Don't they do all these evaluations? Same with company we will do. That is called what? Preliminary assessment. So management must do a preliminary assessment regarding use of going concern assumption. What they consider in preliminary assessment right now, what is the nature and condition of the business? Are there any external events or conditions like changes in law or regulation? Is there any, how is the operational forecast? How the significant events and transactions? Able to understand. How the significant events and transactions, how are they affecting? So this is a basic analysis which company has to do every time. Now what auditor has to check, check whether management is doing this preliminary assessment formally. Suppose management did this preliminary assessment, no event or condition is found, no symptom, no indicator, excellent company. Do I need to do anything else? Nothing. Happily I'll proceed with other work. Suppose I discovered some indicator, some event, some condition, some symptom that may cast significant doubt on the entity's ability to continue as a going concern. If auditor identified any events or conditions that may significantly cast a doubt on entity's ability to continue as a going concern, the auditor shall do further audit procedure. The auditor shall do, if auditor identifies any circumstance which causes, which gives a doubt on going concern, then what auditor has to check? Once again, see, is there a policy for risk assessment related to going concern by the management? How management future plan of action? Did entity prepare future cash flow budget? Yes or no? And look at the cash flow, profit, latest financials, take legal opinion, look at the minutes of the meetings, see the subsequent events, see how borrowing facilities company is having right now. If suddenly company default, is there anybody to support this default? Getting it? Now, after doing all that, suppose I discovered material uncertainty. Check if financial statements adequately disclose the material uncertainty. If financial statement disclose adequately the uncertainty, auditor will express unqualified opinion. Getting it? And you shall also put a separate section, material uncertainty related to going concern. Draw the attention to that note point. Able to understand? Suppose financials are not disclosing. If the financials are not disclosing, express a qualified or adverse opinion. Suppose going concern itself is inappropriate, no discussion. It's wrong at all. Completely wrong. Going concern itself is not there. But the financial statements were prepared using going concern basis. But in auditor's judgment, the use of going concern basis of financials is inappropriate. Then auditor shall express. That's it. You are also reading earlier all this. Have you read by understanding like this? The reading should be like this. You see, every sentence when I'm reading, you're able to understand. That understanding is that's what understanding is, visualization. You should read with that kind of intensity. Getting it? Next. Now you are saying, we are discussing, sir, if we identify any events or conditions, we need to do further audit procedure. What is the further audit procedure means? This point, this answer you have to write. Write about audit procedure. In case, if auditor identifies events or conditions that may cast a significant doubt on entity's ability to continue as a going concern, you should write this answer. Write about risk assessment related to going concern. You need to write this answer. Able to understand. If you look at main material, I have given little more content on going concern. That is also important. That was asked in last attempt or that before attempt. Write about risk assessment related to entity's use of going concern assumption. That is a question. Getting it? This answer you have to write, or I have given accurate answer in the book, main book. You see that. Able to understand. Now, what kind of indicators can be there? Indicators are broadly classified into indicators in financial, operating indicators, other indicators. Like financial indicators, negative operating cash flow, adverse key ratios, discontinuance of dividend, inability to pay creditors on due date, loan terms and all we are failing. So negative operating cash flow, still there are many indicators in main material. Net liability position. What is it? Net liability position. And the creditors are not supporting. All these are indicators. In Air India, operating cash flows are negative because accumulated losses. Asset liabilities are more than assets. Net liability position. Correct? Inability to pay creditors. Air India is unable to pay suppliers on time. All these indicators will give me an idea what the company is having problem. Yes or no? Next, operating. Entity itself want to close. Entity only decided to close. Ford Motors, they only decided to close voluntarily. Until then they try to manage, but somehow cash flows are not affected. They are not supporting. They announced in 2021 that we are winding up. Next, loss of key management. Operational thing. Coffee Day. Yes or no? When the CEO died, the Coffee Day future was, completely was questioned. Later his wife took over and slowly she revived slowly. Next, loss of major market. BSNL did not get 4G allocation. Only recently in the past 1-2 months only they are getting slightly 4G allocation after 4G was implemented 3 years before. 3-4 years before 4G was implemented. Now BSNL is getting allocation when everybody else is participating in 5G. Next, loss of customers, loss of franchisee, loss of suppliers. Any supply, supply of raw material is not available. Labor difficulties, shortage of supplies. Semiconductor is short, in across the world. Now every country is facing this situation, semiconductor shortage. Some companies closed down because of this. Able to understand? There are other indicators. The company is not complying with legal, solvency, liquidity norms. Insurance companies has to maintain 150% solvency. Banks have to, NBFCs have to maintain some 15% solvency ratio, 15% capital ratio. If an NBFC do not comply with capital ratio, liquidity assets ratio, NBFC will liquidate. RBI will remove the license. Legal proceedings against the company, if at all they were successful, company will have to sell the entire assets and pay the liability. Changes in law regulation. Uninsured or underinsured catastrophe, some catastrophe occurred, whereas all the missionaries and all were not insured at all. All these are indicators that going concern of the company might affected. Able to understand. That's it. So that is related to going concern, SA 570. But you need to read from main book. See, read this only for getting an idea from smart notes. But ultimately, reading from main book. Many students, they'll ask me this question. If there is a short notes, it is easy to revise day before exam. You are only assuming like that. Getting it. You give me ICI material, I'll revise before you. You must know how to filter the information when you are reading. Okay. Only if the information, see, why to that extent. Some of you might watch a movie, you are fast forwarding, when watching movie or web series. Yes or no? Are you asking for, edited movie? No, right? You are asking for smart notes edited one. Nothing but short notes means what? We need to edit everything and remove the information and then give you. And you want to read from the short notes thinking that your time will reduce. Now you see, when I'm explaining all this, more or less I covered all the points. You see how I eliminated when I'm explaining? You should also get that skill. First, you should always read the main book properly. If you have given a proper reading of the main book, you naturally understand how to eliminate the information. Only if you have command on the book, you can eliminate like that. Otherwise, you can't. Getting it? So, don't depend on short notes as running notes as like that. So that it will be easy for you to revise. No. Always revise from main book. That is what my sincere advice. And you should filter consciously. You should not, see, when I give you cut short notes, you naturally remove without your knowledge. But you must know what you are eliminating. You must know what you are reading. That can be achieved only when you are reading from main book. Next. So with this, SA 570 is done. So the next one is key audit matter. So in audit report, if you check once again, we have completed one more side heading. Yes or no? One more content of the audit report is completed. The next one is key audit matter. Yeah, let's continue. The next one is SA 701, communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. Communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. So the side heading is like in audit report is key audit matter. So what exactly is a key audit matter? how it is different from other sections of the audit report. Correct? Now we know opinion means where we discuss opinion as a whole on the financial statements. In the basis for opinion section, what do we give? The reason. Especially when we are giving qualified or adverse opinion, we will put one more additional reason why specifically we give qualified or adverse. Then we have material uncertainty related to going concern, and we understood how it has to be used. Then we saw emphasis. If you have any important point in the financial statements, you can highlight that point without qualifying. Correct? Other matter para you can highlight about branch audit responsibility, joint audit responsibility, or other auditors report, another report, all that stuff. So what is key audit matter? The name itself says important audit matter. Key, significant, material. So important audit matter. Now we'll see one example on key audit matter. Then I think it is better to discuss. Tata Motors you take, they have given key audit matters. Okay. So what they have given here, if you check what they have given, key audit matters. Is it visible? Everyone? At the last row also. Okay. 220. Yeah, correctly it came. Okay. So now you see, what are they saying? Key audit matters are those matters that in our professional judgment were of most significant in our audit of financial statements of current period. These matters were addressed in the context of our audit of financial statements as a whole and in forming opinion thereon, and we do not provide separate opinion on these matters. By the way, here below we are discussing some issues. We are not giving any separate opinion. And remember, below we are discussing some points below. These matters were addressed already. Auditors have already looked upon, already verified while conducting audit and while forming opinion. As a whole, they formed opinion on the financials. At the time, these points are all considered. So they are not giving any separate opinion on this matter. Then what are you giving? So key audit matter, like what they are saying here. During the current year, the company has transferred its passenger vehicle to its step-down subsidiary Tata Motors Passenger Vehicle Limited, formerly known as TML Limited, Tata Motors Limited, Business Analytics Limited, in accordance with the scheme of arrangement provided by NCLT. Okay, this is something like sale of the company, transferor company, all that. The company has filed NCLT approved scheme, all that. Okay. The company has accounted for the transfer in accordance with GAAP and have recognized excess of consideration received over carrying value to capital reserve. Consideration received more than carrying value. Capital reserve amalgamation. Remember. The transfer of passenger vehicle undertaking has a significant measurement and disclosure impact on financial statements. All that stuff they have given. So since this work involves so many things, this Tata Motors, the auditors felt this is fundamental to users' understanding, very important. So what auditors did, how this matter was addressed, we performed the following audit. First, they verified test of controls. Remember, in audit procedure, you have test of controls and test of details, compliance procedure and substantive. That's what. First, they did compliance procedure. They evaluated, we evaluated the design and tested operating effectiveness of control over assets and liabilities of the PV. First of all, passenger vehicle related assets are what, liabilities are what, how organization has a control over that. How organization identified exactly passenger vehicle, assets and liabilities. First auditor checked with the controls, records and all. Then they evaluated the design and test the operating effectiveness of the key control for amounts to be disclosed in discontinuing operation. Now passenger vehicle business is discontinued in one company and added to another company. In this company it's a discontinuing operation, no. So they saw that. Then what test of details they did? Actual substantive procedure. We read the minutes of the meeting of board of directors and saw the NCLT order. And they verified completeness and accuracy. Controls are maintained, no. They saw the accuracy of the records. They looked at the accounting treatment. They verified the disclosures made in the financial statements. They analyzed accounting treatment and proper disclosures are there or not. And they have seen the company's assessment on tax impact, all that. That's it. So now what are they saying here? Actually tell me. Left side what they said. During the year what happened they told. Some passenger vehicle business is there. that business is removed from one company and added to another company. And how they recognized in the books of accounts regarding the transfer of undertaking, lump sale, nothing but. Yes or no? And accounting. What right side what he is saying? First left side he said about the situation. Significant transaction happened. During the year, this is a significant, not transaction, event. This is an important event happened in the year. Right side what he is saying, auditor, how he verified he is saying. How he conducted the audit. Nothing but in key audit matter, what auditor is telling exactly? What according to him important audit matter? How he audited. Correct? How he audited. You see right side what is saying? Test of details, what he did. Test of controls, what he did. Left side what is he saying? He's explaining the story about what happened. He felt it is important issue in audit. And right side he's telling how he verified the issue. Nothing but in key audit matter, we are talking about an audit process, right? Nothing but in key audit matter, what are we talking about? Audit process. What audit procedure exactly we did? We will theoretically say compliance procedure I did, substantive procedure I did. But practically he is showing an example like this or not to the shareholders. Tell me, is this information useful for shareholder? Logically speaking, no. Common sense, no. How does this treatment? See, he only told that so and so thing he felt important. How he verified he is telling me. How far this information is useful for me to take an investment decision? Getting the point? I don't know, sometimes I feel hypocrisy. Getting it? Like they just use just to prove the superiority of disclosure, superiority of the thought process. That's why it came. It is not at all useful for shareholders, anybody, especially from finance angle. This is not useful. By reading this, I understand now. Okay, this is how auditor evaluated this point. After looking at this, I will get much more doubts. How purchases auditor did, how sales audit, if at all he didn't speak anything, I'll be happy. I'll see financials, everything super. Suddenly you are coming and showing me, hey, see this amount? This I audited like this. Then I'll immediately, that's how you audited. Correct? If at all they didn't speak anything, happy, no? Able to understand. All of you. Then why auditors commented this if it is not useful to shareholders? Because it is mandatory for listed entities. For all listed entities, it is mandatory. Getting it? They will ask you, write about applicability of key audit matter. Are you getting it? International standards on auditing 701 came. And SCA 701 we adopted. And ICI standard says it is applicable for all listed entities. So auditors of every listed entity will give at least one matter. At least Tata Motors find that auditor is little practical. He took some important transaction happened during the year and explained that. Reliance auditors are too much. They spoke some 8 or 9 issues. They spoke about some 8 or 9 issues in key audit matter. And you see, Apple auditors, you see. This is United States, Apple Incorporation. Okay, this is the annual report of the Apple company. So this is the financial statements. This is the report of independent registered public accounting firm. We use heading what? Here they are using what? Independent registered public accounting firm. And they are also given opinion, basis for opinion like us only, US also. Critical audit matter. Exactly. And now here also you see critical audit matter means what? The critical audit matter communicated below is a matter arising in current period, which was communicated to audit committee. Audit committee means what? Those charged with governance. Yes or no? By the way, are we providing any separate opinion on these matters? No. We are not providing separate opinion on critical audit matter. Correct? Now, description of the matter. What is that matter they mentioned? How we addressed in our audit. They are also showing their skill set. But the problem is people don't understand that. You are exhibiting. Yes or no? You are exhibiting your skill set. You are talking in fluently, very much fluently in manganese something, some language. The problem is I don't understand that. Getting it? Next. So E&Y is the auditor for them. And same way, there are many companies. There is a company called Shell. This is United Kingdom. This is UK framework. And there is another company called Volkswagen, which is German. I mean Europe. They follow European framework. These companies will follow, UK frameworks. In many countries, this audit subject is something common. Auditing is universally a same subject. You see here, our opinion. They clearly said our unmodified opinion. What we have audited, they have given a big list. So somewhat neatly presented than Indian companies. Basis for opinion. Independence. Conclusions related to going concern. Overview of audit approach. What they did in audit. How they fixed materiality. And scope of audit they clearly mentioned. Then key audit matters. Here also they mentioned. So what is the matter? How they responded. How auditor responded to that. Our assessment of key audit matter. You see the definition is more or less similar to India. Key audit matters are addressed in the context of audit. Key audit matters, second para you see, key audit matters are addressed in the context of financial statements as a whole, and we do not provide separate opinion on these matters. Correct? What are key audit matters? They are those matters in professional judgment were of most significant in audit of financial statements of the current period. You see the definition in our book? Key audit, the matters which in auditor judgment are most significant in the audit of financial statements of the current period. These are selected from matters communicated with the audit committee. That's what they wrote in Apple. Here they wrote in, they are charged with governance. Yes or no? Now, what is the purpose of key audit matter? Purpose enna? To show off how we do audit. Yes or no? Tell me, can I discuss about entire my audit process in key audit matter? What I did, what I exactly did in 50 days audit. In the year you can discuss, but audit report will go 500 pages. The purpose of communicating key audit matter is to provide a greater transparency, enhancing the communicative value of the audit report. Audit report value is increasing. Audit report is not a boring document about opinion. It is containing emphasis. It is containing it is containing key audit matter. Able to understand? Key audit matter provides additional information to users of financials, understanding the entity and areas of important judgments used. Where and all in this company important matters are. What are the important transactions in the company? What are the important events? What are the areas of significant judgments? What are the areas of significant risk? These are the areas where key audit matter. You see selection of key audit matter. What are the criterias? Areas of higher risk, significant judgment, significant event or transaction. Tata Motors have selected significant event or transaction, sale of passenger vehicle division to another company. Yes or no? Now, Reliance company has used some judgment, significant judgment involved. Company, last time, they changed the useful life from 30 years to 50 years. Significant management judgment, which involves accounting estimate. So, Reliance auditor choose because of this point, that item. And another company has chosen revenue recognition, which is containing risk of errors. Able to understand? How you select key audit matter? Will you select key audit when you feel something is important? When there is a significant risk, or when there is a significant judgment, or when there is a significant transaction. That is what the factors determining key audit matter. Are you clear? Circumstances when key audit matter shall not be not required. This is not there in the ICA book for you. Actually, it is there in the standard, not there in the book, main book, not required. Now, when you are prohibited to discuss key audit matter, when you give disclaimer of opinion. What is meant by disclaimer? You didn't do audit. Audit pannale. Venanga mukyamana audit matter varum. The audit itself is not conducted. How can you get important audit matter? Understood my point? Now tell me, is communicating key audit matter a substitute for disclosure in financials? No, obviously. Key audit matter is just to show the skill set of the auditor. And key audit matter is not a substitute for modified opinion. Is it a separate opinion? Or is it a substitute for going concern material uncertainty? Emphasis of matter para. Is it a substitute for modified opinion? Is it a substitute for disclosure in financials? Is it a substitute for disclosure in accordance with SA 570 where material uncertainty related to going concern exists? Understood the sentences now? If you plainly read without understanding, you read 10 times, you will not understand. Now you see, you can easily connect with it. Yes or no? You see how easily I'm, reproducing the big definitions. Not because I remember, because I understand. Are you clear? In going concern also, the sentence, if auditor identifies events or conditions or circumstances that cast a significant doubt on entity's ability to continue as a going concern. How did I identify? How did I understand? How did I remember this? If auditor identifies any event or condition or situation or symptom or indicator that cast, means that gives a significant doubt in my mind about organization ability to continue successfully, means going concern. Simple. That's how it was framed. You understand the sentences like this with concept, all that understanding. So the moment I see if auditor identified event, condition, indicators that gives doubt on going concern ability, able to understand. So like that you need to think every time. Are you all clear? Key audit matters means what? They are the matters which are most significant for the auditor in the audit of current period. Why do I discuss about last year? And these matters, did I address in audit? Yes. Am I giving separate opinion? Or is it a substitute for modified opinion? So you see how it is framing everything logically. Understood? With this, key audit matter is also done. Clear? All of you. Next. So the next part is, now coming back to the audit report once again. See, look, I am only covering hardly 40 to 50% of the total chapter. Concepts I am covering everything. But each concept has so many sub-concepts that I am not covering fully. You see main material, you will find so many other different ways of questions. Getting it? Now, material uncertainty related to going concern is covered. Key audit matter is also covered. Next. Now, what is the pending one? Report on other legal and regulatory requirements, which is also called as other reporting requirements. Now, what is this? So, report on other legal and regulatory requirements. Report on legal and regulatory requirements. We don't have legal requirement at CA Inter. Sorry, regulatory we don't have. But legal requirement is there. Legal means what? Requirement under law. So Companies Act we have three requirements. 143 subsection 1, 143 subsection 3, 143 subsection 11. 143 subsection 3, 9 plus 6, totally 15 matters auditor shall report. Checklist we call it as, affirmations we call it as, auditor shall report on 15 matters. Auditor shall inquire on 6 matters, 6 inquiries. 143.3, central government has passed an order, Caro 2020, where auditor has to talk about 21 clauses. Clause numbers, oral drilling, that is not correct. Getting it? You need to understand what is inside the clause, which is what tested in exam. What is the reporting requirement for undisputed statutory dues as per Caro 3 marks? What will you answer? Understood how the questions were asked? If a company has raised funds using IPO, what are the reporting requirements as per Caro 2020 regarding the same? This is how the questions will be asked. What is the audit reporting requirement in case of NBFCs under Caro 2020? And if a company has raised working capital loans, what is the audit reporting requirement under Caro 2020? This is how the questions will come. All these questions appear like not existing in the syllabus, right? Now you see they are in the syllabus, they are in the Caro itself. Okay. Now, these matters we don't have in the syllabus. 143.1, 6 inquiries, ICI study material is not containing on them, so not required. So what are these 15 matters? What are these 21 clauses? We need to discuss. Now, Caro applicability. To whom Caro is applicable? All the companies, including foreign companies. However, banking companies, insurance companies, section 8 companies, one person companies, small company, straight away, Caro do not apply. The auditors of these companies, when they are giving audit report, they will come to report on legal and regulatory requirement, right? There they will not talk about Caro. They will talk about remaining, anything else. But they will not talk about Caro. You see Tata Motors, are they talking about Caro or not? We'll see. Report on legal and regulatory requirement. You see here, report on other legal and regulatory requirement as required by Caro 2020. We are giving annexure. So they are talking, no? Under report on legal and other regulatory requirement, Caro is given. Yes or no? Now I'll ask this, my another favorite question. If any of your friends says I'm super in audit, ask him first, did he listen my class or not? If not, ask him where Caro will come. In the audit report, what is Caro? First ask him, he'll give super definition. Then ask him what is it Caro? He only says 21 clauses are there. You want cheat code for 21 clauses, how to remember? I don't want all that. Where Caro will come in audit report? Ask this. Even where you did articles, no? Where you did articles, no? Some CS will be there in the form. Ask them where Caro will come exactly. They might have prepared many number of audit reports, right? I can say even CS who qualified, more than 90% they don't understand. More than 90% they don't understand this. Getting it? So you need to understand, just because we qualify doesn't mean we are knowledgeable. We will qualify with all short notes as running for flowcharts and all. If you read 10 times hard work, you'll qualify. But you will not understand if this kind of questions were asked. Big Four, no, they'll ask these kind of questions. Big Four and all, they'll ask all these kinds of questions. Getting it? So you ask them, you tell them, Caro will come under report on legal and regulatory. In audit report, there are so many parts. Inside that, there is a part like this. Inside that, it will come. Getting it? How many of you did articles? Oh, many. Have you went to any company audits? Have you saw audit reports? Or you prepared audit reports? Have you ever observed all this? What they do in audit report, last year audit report copy paste. Years they will change. What they do in audit report, no? Last year audit report, they will copy and paste it. Years they will change, company name they will change. The below people who will sign, their name will be changed. That's it. And audit report, they will look at last. They don't even think about this. They don't even think about it. You need to understand audit reporting. Only if you understand audit reporting well, you can do statutory audit much better. First you must know why are you doing audit, no? What people do in reality, they'll go to audit, no? What they'll do, first? Yeah. So what they'll do is, they'll first go to client office. Directly take books, documents, start verifying. They don't even understand what to verify. Because this is what I did. Getting it? Nobody was there to explain me how to do audit. First of all, my partner also don't know. He only know half. Getting it? That's how it is. They tell me, in CPT or in foundation when you are studying, you might have thought something. Hey, this chapter for exam I'll leave, but after exams I'll study this for knowledge's sake. Have you felt like that or not? Some of you. Yes or no? How many of you felt this? At least I should read such an interesting topic. I must read after exams. And none of you touched it back. Correct? Same way, CA final students also. It's okay, we'll leave now. After exams, we will read and become a good chartered accountant. And that's how these people came who are practicing right now. Getting it? You go and ask any of the partner, whoever is, you take any big forms, you ask them what exactly all this, they can't tell you. Because they never studied. Do they have exams like you? So obviously they don't study. And why are you attending this class? Because next month you are having exam. If at all you don't have a class, knowledge kudukuranga sir, pola maanga. Varivingla? Are you getting it? Because you are having exam, you are coming and attending. So whose responsibility it is to impart that kind of knowledge? Mine. But the problem is, the person sitting here, many of them are not having knowledge. Because they also studied in the same way. Yes or no? Whatever I study, I only give you that. So we need to relearn everything. Getting it? We need to relearn everything. You may ask me now, then how come you learned all this? Because I have to teach, no. And I can't learn the way I learned earlier. So I have to make it. So why audit is theory, why audit is boring? I just started looking at the subject. For me, basically I have this problem. If I read anything, if I don't understand, I'll Google it and then identify and search it and then find out. That thought process helped me to learn the subject much more deeper way. So that's the only reason why I have good command on audit. See, I'm able to show UK reports, US reports, Europe reports. Across world, I have seen some 7 or 8 frameworks related reports, reporting requirements. So that is the reason. That's how the understanding, that helps. If at all I didn't do that kind of analysis, obviously it will never come. That skill set will never come. There are many who are much experienced than me in the field, in audit. Getting it? The only reason within past 1 month I got 4.5 lakh views is only reason is in the past 1 year. The only reason is the content quality. So if the content is very strong, if you understand, understanding means this. Even now I am trying to, still I'm having some 5% clarity missing on few topics. Still I'm discussing, still I'm discovering. Getting it? So that is a kind of learning. Of course in exam that is not required, but I must give you the idea about how to learn. That's my responsibility. Correct? Auditing just read 10 times and go and write exam. That is not what I should teach you. Getting it? Auditing is like this only dry subject. Enna dry? Ipo varakum na sollitiya dry engadu. Monday dry na auditing dry da irukum. Correct? The brain dry irundadna and subject dry da irukum. Ungalukku kediyadu solla ungalukku. Like whoever is teaching basically. Next. That after we uploaded the previous marathon, like whatever first time, after we saw how the market responded, like how everyone was responded, okay, then I understood, okay, so there is a lot of dry market in, dry people in the market, due to which people are still following the old methods, and if at all we give something new, something really understandable, this is how they appreciate. We worked on all 8 subjects of CA Inter like this. We worked on all CA Inter 8 subjects like this, and we created some model, all that. That's how it went very successful, our institute, whatever. We do spend 0 on marketing. We have no admin office. We have nothing. Getting it? Still we are able to, yearly we have 2,500 students online. We don't take live, we only take recorded version. The only reason is because of the kind of content we cover. We don't have animation videos. We don't use PPT presentations. Like how I am opening the material and teaching you. Exactly that. People think PPT will make class interesting. No. It's a person sitting who can make interesting the class. It's a content that we are speaking that makes interesting. Till now have you felt bored? But in this entire subject, 20%, 15-20% syllabus will be there where you will feel little bored. Because I myself also don't understand them. Honestly, I'm admitting here. It's not I don't understand. It's difficult to make you understand that. Because you will not have that exposure to visualize. Sometimes you can't express it, the visualization. Sometimes only when you see that I can make it, link with your mind. Most of you have never seen big internal audits, operational audits. But that related discussion is also there in our book. But okay, it occupies hardly 15% space. But 85% of this subject I'm telling you, I can make you visualize. Getting it? Next. And mostly what I feel is, company audit is not at all a benchmark chapter. That's an easy chapter. That's nothing. Company audit chapter is nothing. It's very easy. Anybody can teach well. Audit report, standards, sampling. Getting it? These are the topics which are highly courageous. Documentation, risk assessment. Getting it? These topics. Mostly audit report. Because this nobody understands. So, fine. Next. So Caro is applicable for all this. Sir, Caro is applicable for all companies except all these companies. Understood? Now, Caro is not applicable for private limited companies also. But 4 conditions have to be satisfied. Correct? For a private limited company, Caro do not apply. If they satisfy 4 conditions, all the 4 must be satisfied. The company shall not be a subsidiary or holding of a public company. The private company shall not be a holding company or subsidiary company of a public company. Just we will open that. You see, the company shall not be, not being a subsidiary or holding company of a public company. The total paid up capital and reserves and surplus shall not exceed 1 crore on balance sheet date, and borrowings from banks and FIs shall not exceed 1 crore at any point of time during the year, and total turnover shall not exceed 10 crore, including turnover calculated from discontinuing operations. Total turnover including discontinued business turnover, total it shall not exceed 10. All this if satisfied. Remember, loans at any point of time, whereas here it is balance sheet date. These can be tested by senior citizen paper setters. If it is me, I will not test on this kind of stupid items. Getting it? Example, here it is 1 crore, no. I will ask, 1 crore exactly. I will put 1 crore and ask you a question, and you will definitely make some small mistake. And then I will identify, and you will say, hey, sir, ரொம்ப intelligent. In the madrella kadiyadu intelligence. Getting it? This is nowhere related to that. And these kinds of questions can be asked only by senior citizen paper setters. If at all the paper setter is a senior citizen, if there is no age criteria, age criteria should be 35, paper setter. But anga start agade 30. Getting it? Like, you can set the paper only after 5 years of qualifying. Only then you are eligible to become a paper setter. Some criteria were there. Okay. Now, what do you mean by paid up capital? What do you mean by reserves and surplus? What do you mean by borrowings? And what is turnover and additional points? Remember, small company, what is a small company? Small company is also a private limited company, you know that. Small company is a status. If a company whose capital do not exceed 2 crore, now it is 2 crore, and turnover do not exceed 20 crore, then it is called as a, suppose mine is a private company, I have 15 crore turnover, I have 1.5 crore capital. Am I small company or private limited company failed to satisfy the condition and Caro applicable? If I am having small company status, then private limited company limits I will not check. If I take small company status, I need not check private company 1 crore criteria, 10 crore criteria and all. Able to understand. Small company, 2021 limits revised. Corresponding limits not revised in Caro. Able to understand. Because you see, when we do mistake, if I tell you, hey, that point is mistake, you will rectify that only. Relating to that, where and all there are points, will you rectify them? This is what happens in government also. The Ministry of Finance, they would have received a recommendation from small and medium enterprises. Sir, up to 20 crores is also small business only today, considering the inflation, all that. Please make small company status limit up to 20 crore. They requested. The person sitting in the ministry, he is not studying CA inter auditing subject. First of all, understand. He is not studying company law subject. Immediately when I say small company means, do you think he will get all Caro point is there? That is it. We only don't remember first point. Why do he will remember? So what he will do? He will put a proposal. Sir, small company limits we will change. And they will change it. They will forget the fact that there is something called Caro. Private limited company is there. Private limited company Caro limits are something different. They are more than small company. Once upon a time, small company means what? 50 lakhs like that. Turnover is very low. Actually, originally it was some 10 lakhs something. Originally, small company status. So that time, small company is different, private company criteria is different. Able to understand. In 2016, I am talking. But later, last private company, Until there also you need to check. Small company criteria, many of the private companies will satisfy. So, they are exempted under small company category, Caro. If a private limited company do not claim small company status, then they will have to check with the 4 conditions. Understood. Now, Caro applicability. Caro is applicable for a company means it is applicable for branches also, right? Obviously. If separately a branch auditor is performing the audit, he shall also give Caro report, right, as part of his audit report. Correct? Now, should I give Caro in the audit report which is given on consolidated financials? No. If I am giving audit report on consolidated financial statements, Caro report will not apply. Only 21st clause of the Caro report will apply on consolidated financials. In audit report, you see Tata Motors consolidated audit report, you will find only 21st clause related reporting requirement. Actually, Caro report will not apply on consolidated financials. Only 21st clause will apply for audit report given on consolidated financials. Understood or not? To this much extent, I don't think in exam they will be testing it. So that's about the applicability of Caro. So the next one we'll discuss, we'll continue after a few minutes break. Getting it? So clauses we need to start. The clauses and checklist, once we discuss that over this chapter. And I will show you what are all the references that you need to look into. What are the books that you need to look into on this chapter. Okay.